Now I have to remember to start the recording this time. Last time I did embroidering on stream, nobody could see. Nobody, oh, nobody saw a good opening chunk of it. I had to go get the VOD, which was a whole process. Am I signed in? Here we are. Hopefully I am signed in on this computer so that I can just do this. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Cute. I need to scroll down. I know, stories, moderator, it's whatever. This is what I was looking for. Nice. Oh my goodness. Opt out of targeted advertising, please. Get out of here. Okay, cool. Now I can see. Let's get started properly. Let's first start in on The Lady from Venus. Is the episode of Space Patrol that'll be going in the background here. And, ooh, I know. I need to plug in my headphones to the computer so we're not getting two of that.
Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have been locked in a building by two criminals who have blocked their only means of escape by pouring sodium-potassium alloy on the stairs. The liquid metal has burst into flame on contact with the air.
Commander, the heat's terrible. We're going to face something worse than heat when the automatic fire.
I didn't know sodium potassium.
The water will put the fire out.
Well, I guess
Not
they,
this alloy, Happy.
if you
It
think
burns
about
in
it.
air, but when water hits it, it explodes. What? The second that spray starts working, this whole building will be blown to...
Yeah. Okay, so hopefully everyone can
We'll
hear
be back
me.
in just a
Let's look at the
moment
relative
with
levels
today's
here.
Space
Yeah,
Patrol
that's a little high.
The lady from Venus.
Let me just bump that down there. That'll be fine. So,
Space Patrol are
you've kind of caught me in the middle of this one. I've been doing a little work on it off screen. So, tools here. First of all, we got the Sashiko thimble, the palm thimble. It just kind of hangs out on my hand, and then I use it to push the needle. And then we've got a Sashiko needle here with some Sashiko thread. That's it. I got some fusible backing here.
And gang, when you roll out of bed in the morning, you're just like this generator. You need fuel because you haven't had any for about
I think I need to alter the position I have this in, but I've got some of this, not fusible backing. Dissolvable backing is the word I'm looking for. This dissolves in water, so you can just kind of stick it on what you're working on, and then it will just kind of dissolve in the wash, which is super nice.
Baked crisper than a cracker. Super power in every bite. Now remember, pulling
So.
out of the breakfast table is like pulling into a filling station. So get supercharged.
Yeah, let
every
me,
morning.
I'm probably going to be, like, adjusting the positioning in my hands a lot. Wheat chicks! I want to stress the advertisers in these old-time radio shows are not, our sponsors. In particular, I would call out Ralston as something that I don't think I would ever accept a sponsor from. Although, really, it's the same company making, at this time, wheat checks, rice checks, and Ralston. So it's really simple here. There's just a series of
Yes, it is, Mr. Stratton. Are you sure? It's a uranium clock, sir. It gives the correct universal
Quarter-
fire time within a minute.
well, ideally quarter-inch stitches.
10:30, didn't he? Yes, sir.
10:40 now.
Oh, here's the commander now.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Stratton.
Oh, that's all right, Commander.
The Secretary General and the staff have gone over your application. and
The big thing that I find difficult in this pattern that we're working on, this,
Splendid, splendid.
These papers.
Sagai pattern, I believe is what it is, is it's just kind of, it's a lot of curves, so I have to stitch, I can't, like, load stitches onto the needle like you normally should with Sashiko, you know what I mean? I feel like I need to hold this differently so I can push and maneuver with my right hand, because I am right-handed. Let me pull this through real quick.
What can I do for you?
Why, Mr. Stratton, you don't recognize me.
Why, Miss Bennett, give me...
So I've over
Looks so different.
Don't tell me I've aged that much in 5 years.
I've made this stitch a little too wide,
Come on now,
so
instead of a boomer.
the space between these two stitches anyhow a little too wide. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run back a little bit. I am beginning to wonder if I can get this camera any closer. You know what?
The lady from Venus.
Let's switch to this one.
Well, right
See if
now,
this
I'm
is
in
any
manufacturing
bigger.
business on my own.
Well, we're competitors, eh?
No, not In fact, I'm actually interested in becoming one of your customers.
Splendid.
Is there a better way for me to do this? Sorry, I just keep like looking at the screen and I'm like, this is so small. I can barely see what I'm doing. Let me see once. If I can just do these.
Did you know about it so soon?
Oh, I know a lot of things about you, Edward. I was one of the people questioned by the state
What
Bureau of
else?
Security.
Evidently, you applied for a favor, but
Tinker with a few things here.
Assuming your plant being operated.
Webcam,
given back to production.
properties,
Plan on you for a shipment of plutonium
figure
this
video.
Oh, I'm not joking, Edward. I'm ready to pay you a fair amount of credit for a
Camera
small percentage of
control.
plutonium output.
You have a United Planets authorization.
Does this have any zoom?
That's why I have to get it from you.
But I can't
Oh, it doesn't
sell
seem
I
to.
can sell you power, but not plutonium
I've had it
or other
I've had it
fissile materials.
zoom previously. Is
Now,
the,
how long do you think
Oh!
it would operate that plant if I should
Huh.
have space to grow a
Is
certain
that,
evidence?
you think that's physical zoom or you think that's digital zoom?
5 years ago.
You know I had nothing to do with those.
I would say
You're
that's
in there
digital
behind my
zoom.
back.
Yes, but the evidence I have
But-
still points to you, not to me.
Well, now you can see a
I've
little.
been keeping it, Edward, for just such an
Sort of.
opportunity.
No, I've got
Yeah, you can't really tell,
Surely you can find some way to get around the regulations.
but I have posted pictures in the Discord of this pattern. Let me turn off a little bit of the zoom so you can get a little bit. This.
I never thought you'd stoop to anything like this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
It's a fake company I've organized to receive certain illegal materials.
You're operating on Mars.
No,
A
no, I
fake
just-
company. Oh, the scan.
As well as mine. I'm still the lady from Venus. So I'll see you in a month. Remember, I'll be expecting my shipment in a month. Goodbye for now.
So because I did this, because I got a little farther apart in these stitches than I particularly wanted to, I'm just going to kind of double back rather than using the straight stitch that's traditional here.
What's that, sir? Officially, this is a pleasure trip. Unofficially, we're on official duty. Huh? I'm all confused. Remember the man Stratton who was in my office about a month ago? The fellow who was authorized to operate an atomic reactor plant on Venus? Oh, yes, sir. I remember Mr. Stratton. He ought to be producing by now.
So then I had to wrangle it that way. But the idea here is I'm going to, there's a repeated sort of scale pattern going on here. You can kind of see it when I hold it up to the camera. And the idea is we're just going to work our way back and forth.
Just a minute.
We're going to be working our way back and forth, first on the bottom row of a row of stitches, and then over on the top row.
Well, aren't you going to ask us in? Mr. Stratton, this is my assistant, Ivan Almond.
How do you do? Hello.
Shake hands with him, Edward, or Ivan will think you don't like him. He's very sensitive.
Yeah. Shake, huh?
Easy, Ivan. Mr. Stratton will probably need his right hand to correct a little mistake he made.
Mistake?
Yes. One of our representatives inside your plant informed us that you shipped a crate to the Elvin Company on Mars yesterday.
That's right. I did. I followed your instructions.
Yeah, except you didn't put plutonium in the crate.
What a waste of time and money it would be for us to pick up that crate of worthless metal and haul it back to Venus.
Worthless metal.
Yes. So I brought Ivan with me to persuade you to correct this oversight.
You like me to work him over, Miss Bennett?
Well, that's up to Mr. Stratton.
Yes, I'll correct the oversight.
Good. But the next time you make a mistake, Ivan will work you
Sorry,
over
I'm also
the crate.
fussing a lot with my
And
hand
Ivan will
inside the
answer the
fabric here
necessary.
to make sure that the patch fabric lays as flat as is reasonable, because the tack stitches I stuck, because the stitches that kind of tack this on at the patch fabric on at the edges did not quite
Miss Bennett, look. There is another water cruiser pulling out to Stratton's Wharf.
Yes, men in uniform. Quick, get over behind those bushes before they see us.
I didn't quite I tacked this on flat, but now because it's in the, inside thigh of these jeans, it's not staying put. So I kind of have to manually scrungle it into,
I think we'd better get to the cruiser and shove off.
scrungle it into place in hopes that it stays put. And I'm
I heard that the
actually
hotel
take a moment
you
here
in today for a rest.
before we start on the next arch, and I'm going to look at the patch fabric to see if it's been lying flat correctly. Which it's
Now, let's get going.
No. Wait till they get in the house.
That's a little more bunched up than I was hoping it would be, but hopefully we can just kind of
Oh, Mr.
stop
Stratton,
these
please
from
get it.
propagating outward.
They must have come here in a surface car then.
They could have, all right, along the Lakeshore Road. Who were these people?
We'll see, we'll see. See how I kind of got these little wrinkles here that won't come flat? I got a little hasty yesterday at the end of things, and I seem to have bound a little. But ideally it should be fine. We'll see.
Look, Commander, I'm going to tell you the whole story. It may mean that the government might take my license away, but I'll not be blackmailed into committing a crime.
Blackmail? How could they? Your record's clean.
Let me give you the facts. This Elspeth Bennett worked for me 5 years ago on Mars. Without my knowledge, she put over several very...
But the idea behind this little Sashiko thimble here, this little palm thimble, is you just kind of double it up and use it to push the needle along. I feel like I'm doing this backwards, but I have such better control.
They patrol and investigate us, and we can't afford that. At any rate, we can't get any plutonium from Stratton now.
I've got a lot better control of the needle right-handed, so
Ivan, we've got to take care of Corey, the cadet, and Stratton.
I can't handle all three of them. They are armed.
I'll fix it so you can take the space patrolman by surprise. You wait in the bushes near the lakeshore. I'll pretend to be in trouble. While they're rescuing me, you can jump out and overpower them.
I'm gonna try here to...
Telling the truth about being framed. Well, so do I, Happy. If he weren't thoroughly honest, he could have sold radioactive materials illegally. Yet he's willing to risk losing his plant. Well, Commander, listen. It's a woman. She's fallen into the lake. Come on, Happy.
Save me, I can't swim.
We're coming, lady. Here, I'll jump in.
trying to, kind of...
Grab the end of this stick.
Sorry, I keep doing this to see what I'm doing.
It's gonna be all right. Just hang on. We'll pull you
Tried to,
Thank goodness you heard me.
do a bit more of the traditional Sashiko approach here in loading more than one straight stitch onto the fabric, and we'll see how it goes.
There you are. Don't try to get up for a while. Just rest.
Pull the thread through,
Hey, what's the big idea? I got them both, Miss Bennett.
flatten everything back out,
Time for gloating, Ivan. Go and
try
find
again.
Stratton and bring him out here.
Maybe I better finish Corey and the cadet now. Huh?
Give Stratton a chance to get away. No. Somebody's going to find 3 bodies here by the lake. Corey, the
Push
cadet,
this
and
guy
Stratton. And they'll
through
find evidence against
so that
Stratton
I
in Corey's
can
pocket.
go jump from here to here,
Of course, if it's
essentially.
not suspected, it'll be
Hopefully you
awful
can
for
see what I'm
everyone
on
Stratton
about.
got away with him to keep from being exposed.
How are you going to
But really,
Corey wounded
I've
him.
found that Sashiko can be a lot less fuss than I am making it right now.
One of them moved.
It can be actually quite simple, and it's really good for... it's really good if you use a light, especially if you use a lighter fabric as the patch fabric. I'm going through 2 to 4 layers of denim, depending on the position of each of these stitches, with each of the stitches, which is kind of asking a lot of my hands.
Some of the fellas here in the
But,
neighborhood are having a race.
you know.
They're running right in this direction,
Oh.
and way out in front is Jim Bridwell, a boy that makes it a rule to eat a...
But it's a lot easier if you take a lighter piece of patch fabric, or if you're tacking on something light to something else light for and it makes it really fantastic for high traffic areas.
Latch on quick, gang, to Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the super cereals that help us supercharge you.
Hi, Space Patroller.
Hi, Jim. Nice job of running you did there.
Supercharged, that's me.
That's what I was telling the gang, that you eat the super cereals.
Sure do. Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. You just can't find another cereal like them.
Right you are, because they're the only modern bite-sized
And really,
cereals everywhere.
Talk about the
I'm making this harder than it needs to be in multiple fashions.
Rice Chex,
In the sense of, I'm doing curved stitches with, in a difficult area to get the fabric to lay flat in,
is being blackmailed by a former employee
with
into selling plutonium
several layers of very thick fabric. This can be done much more simply if you're a little less particular about it than I'm being.
Now, while Ivan goes to bring Stratton out of his lakeside cottage, Buzz and Happy regain consciousness.
You know.
Find Elspeth standing over them with a heavy club.
You know, this, the captain in this being named Buzz makes me wonder how much, they are.
Let's make a move to get up. Good, Dad. What are you looking so pop-eyed about?
Makes me wonder how much Buzz Lightyear was named not just after Buzz Aldrin, but this guy too.
Don't try any childish tricks on me.
But Space Patrol is very much like, it's reminding me of a lot of these
And you better not, Commander.
serialized.
And so am I.
Look out, Commander.
I warned you, Commander. Let go of that stick.
I was hoping you'd swing at me. Now, give me that towel. I don't want to hurt you. There.
If you hadn't ducked, I'd have fixed you good.
Yeah, and if the commander hadn't yanked you forward, something would have fixed you for good. Look what's on that branch.
It is a snake. Oh.
I've got her. 1 minute she's swinging a club at us, and the next she faints dead away. Women are sure temperamental. At least this one is.
Whoa!
Snake had bitten Miss Bennett.
Somebody got the disclaimer command.
There's no time for jokes, Happy. We've got to save Stratton. Come on.
Actually, I am gonna fire the disclaimer. This, like things on paper cuts, is pretty old, so they
Stratton, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Where's Ivan?
they sometimes write these characters in such a way that you're like, is this guy supposed to be the hero? You know what I mean? But these old-time radio shows, despite their occasional forays into approaches that really tell you their age, they're quite fun.
No, I didn't have a chance. Corey and the cadet arrived too soon.
I have long been a proponent of public domain this and that. Let's see here. We've got this one and then that one, and then we can head back. Okay. But this is, like I said, I am perhaps making this a good deal harder
Some of these small branches are broken.
than it needs to be. Sashiko is actually
Might have had a boat beached along here.
quite a leisurely effect
Lead right out to the water.
to apply to mend your
Come out of
clothes.
her faint. Look out there, halfway across the lake. A water cruiser with 2 people in it. They're going at full speed.
Especially with this,
If they got that boat at the worst, well, they'd be out of sight.
especially with this dissolvable backing, you know what I mean? You don't have to sit there and draw a grid onto everything and da-da-da-da-da to get all your stitches spaced just so. It's just you
I got to the lake shore, she was
plonk down the backing and there it is. And you just stitch away.
Planning to destroy us all.
Real nice.
Elspeth's always been a determined woman. I had no idea she was so utterly ruthless.
I just talked to the manager of the Lake Azure Hotel.
I don't know. I've been finding a lot of joy in mending. Not only my clothes, but Razz's as well. This is actually more of a, as I allude to in the stream title, you know, well, yeah, as I alluded to in the announcement text here, this is more of a stitch in time to save 9. This area is just a very high traffic area for both Razz and I. And so I'm just kind of getting out ahead of it, so I don't have to do it again later. But really, what I should have done in doing this.
We're going to Venus City to pick up some freight.
What for?
There's an electromagnetic pump waiting to be picked up, and it's got the Elbin Company name on it. Sooner or later, Corey's going to trace us through the Elbin Company.
But, Miss Bennett, we can't get a magnetic pump in this ship. It's too small.
We'll hire a surface truck from the warehouse and drive to the plant. There's another ship there. We'll pick up some documents I need and then blast off for Jupiter. Corey'll never find us there.
Oh, they're heading for Jupiter. What are they gonna do up there? You never know. Ooh. I seem to have moved the thread through. Really, the only downside to this dissolvable backing is it is also self-adhesive, and so, you know, you get a little bit of that stickum on the needle, as it were. But it's not the end of the world, I'd say. It saves you a heck of a lot of the prep work.
Get the Atomo truck registration number. Alert all highway patrol units to watch for it, and not to stop it, just report its location.
Atomo truck.
Hurry up.
You think that's Atomo truck as in atomic truck or autonomous truck?
I've got the Atomo truck in the view scope, sir.
Could be either at this point when this was recorded. This was recorded 30s, I believe.
What manufacturing concerns are marked there?
It's very much the type of thing that you're like, oh, well, I listened to this show on the wireless. You know, when you think of mystery theater, mystery science theater, like they mention in,
I've got to admit I didn't think much of this.
well, it's the movie Back to the Future. This is the type of thing you're picturing. Well, maybe something a little older than this, maybe Dimension X, but, you know, same sort of thing. See, now we're coming into the very, after this set back over here, once we move on to the next row, we're coming into one of the hardest parts of this particular patch, because we're trying to work over the main seam, which is going to be a bit of a pain, but, you know.
Sodium, potassium, coolant, heat exchanger, receiving
Yes,
tank.
yes, I know, but I don't want any slip-ups. Come on, get out.
It's going to be a job to dispose of all that, and a real shame to destroy it.
It'll just be hidden. A few months from now, I'll set up a plant on another planet. Nobody's going to stop the lady from Venus. I can promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
Bennett, Ivan,
What's up, Magnus?
Quick, into the building.
stop!
Quick, open the door. Up the stairs. We can cross to the next building with a catwalk.
What's up, Magnus? You had words. What's going on, BB?
Up the stairs. Come on, let's get him.
Ivan, open the door of the catwalk.
Stop!
They're coming up the steps. Stop.
You're cornered. Better come down.
Ivan, those big containers.
What do you need, Chitchat?
Okay.
You beat.
Better get off the stairs. Watch it, Commander. Duck up.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to see if I moved the camera.
Shall I roll this one
Ivan,
down?
wait. Don't roll it. Open the valve and let it pour down the stairs.
Huh?
Tip it over and point the valve towards and hurry.
Commander, what do you suppose she's up to?
People want to see you. Yeah. Magnus is like, please, please, Father, do not pick on me up. I have committed no crime. It's true. Go. Alright.
Stand back, Happy.
Now let's see her come up those stairs.
Commander, the heat, it's awful.
Oh, the stairs are on fire.
Can't get up through that flaming liquid, and they can't get down. We'll go outside.
Sorry, Commander, you won't be leaving.
She's closed the door.
The electronic control switch is up here. It's no use, Cadet. You can't open that door.
I got this one open, Miss Bennett.
We're leaving you now, Commander. No, by the way, there's an automatic fire extinguishing system in here. In a minute or two, water will be sprayed all over that sodium-potassium alloy. And that's your life. Come on, Ivan, we haven't got much time.
Hey, did you hear that, Commander? The sprinkling system will put the fire out. And if it works quickly... the sprinkling system starts, we're finished. Huh? This coolant has to be kept in a closed, airtight system. It burns in there, but when water hits it, it explodes violently. All these containers will blow up. Commander, we've got to get out of here. Now, look.
Oh, hi, Magnus.
The chain runs up to that pulley.
Commander, we've got to get out of here.
We can swing over to
That.
and get out the way they did. Grab the hook. I'll
Not
hold the
where I
switch.
want that.
Get a good grip. I'll hold the chain and kick the switch with my foot. Hey, it's working, sir. We're going up. Start swinging. When we're level with the balcony, jump. Yes, sir.
Hi, Magnus. Yes,
The
hello.
sprinkler system. It started to work. Let's hope the water doesn't hit that coolant till we get out of here. Jump, Happy.
Also, how would you use sodium potassium, like a sodium potassium alloy like this? Disregarding the like mechanics of, oh, it's a sodium potassium alloy. How would you use something as volatile as sodium that explodes as a coolant? Like, I don't quite follow there.
Hold it, Ivan.
Corey, you couldn't have escaped.
Yeah, but we did. Which is something that's never going to happen to a certain lady from Venus. Yes, sir, Commander. When she teamed up with Ivan Ammon, it sure was an evil omen.
This has such like a...
Week's exciting Space Patrol story in just a moment.
Well, we don't need a preview of the next
Jump and Jupiter, gang.
straight
Here's a
away.
five-star bulletin from Buzz Corey. It's coming over the teletype here in the newsroom of Terra's biggest newspaper, the Outer Space
Teletype.
Here,
Now
I'll read it to you
that's
hot off the
a
newspaper.
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
It says, gang, don't take a chance those cold winter mornings. Get a start for the day that keeps you moving. Eat a breakfast that whips you into action. A good breakfast with good hot Ralston, the hot super cereal that helps us
Ralston. So the thing about Ralston, I mentioned this the other day on Paper Cuts where we were while we were reading.
That's why I eat a good breakfast with
Ralston,
a breakfast that
you wouldn't think it would be
you can't take a chance either, boys and girls.
much
So
of a
my
name.
advice to you is this.
Sorry, I'm probably going to be struggling with this for a bit.
That's it, gang.
Just because
That's
it's,
Buzz Corey's message to you. So do what your commander says. Eat a good
The thing with Ralston is they actually, it was a
and get
cult
super
called the
charged.
Ralstonites. And they had a cereal,
Exciting Space Patrol story.
and they named the cereal Ralston,
A secret mine on Saturn's sixth moon. As they wade through the water
in hopes that people would go, well, what's a Ralston? And go looking around for it. But that didn't quite
Sounds like a
work
motor
out.
sometime. It must be back outside the opening. The mine's pump engine. Pump? Oh, automatic, I guess. Yeah. When the water reaches a certain level, it cuts on. Hey, wait a minute. Look at the water level against the wall of the shaft. Watch it. It looks like it's rising. That pipe. It isn't drawing water out, it's forcing it in. Happy, somebody at the mine opening reversed the pumps. They're trying to drown us.
Oh, they reversed the pumps. Will we see?
Next Saturday for the exciting story, the last voyage of Lonesome Lena, when wheat checks, rice checks, and
Oh, yes.
Ralston against
We will actually get to hear that one. So that's another thing. That's another thing that's interesting about this old-time radio is finding
Buzz Corey. Boys and
what
girls, to donate blood,
we
you to be
have.
at least 18 years of age. But to be a Space Patrol blood booster, well, age doesn't matter. I need all of you, and all of you can join. Our job is to get more people to donate blood to the Red Cross. It's a swell way to help your country, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So
Swell.
how about joining my Space Patrol blood boosters today? Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson.
Sweet.
Ken Mayer, Virginia Hewitt, and David Duval.
But,
Mike Duval speaking.
Yeah, this...
Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks.
So I've been having a lot of success taking the fabric like this, where my thumb is, you know, I have one hand stabilizing the fabric, my thumb on one side and my fingers on the other, and then the right hand controlling the needle.
For time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network. Wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston present Space Patrol.
Getting a little better at this.
In the name of interplanetary justice, travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol.
Get a little better at this as I go, I'd say.
Buzz and Happy are in the lower shaft of a secret mine on Saturn's sixth moon. As they wade through the water of the partly flooded shaft,
What is
strange
Saturn's
sound
sixth?
filters down through the mine.
That's a Google question.
Happy, listen. Sounds like a motor.
Actually, that's a good one to Google. Let's find out. What is Saturn's sixth moon?
Level, it cuts on and draws off the water. But, Commander, look at the water level against the wall of the shaft. It's rising. You're right, Happy. That pipe isn't drawing water out, it's forcing it in. Someone reversed the pump. They're trying to drown it.
Saturn's sixth moon being Titan. Text.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Last Voyage of the Lonesome Lena. Presenting the story of a young boy who didn't like any of the cereals his mom brought home. First he'd say,
I can't eat that stuff, Mom.
sometimes he'd say,
Oh, gee, no flavor.
and then again,
Don't like it, Mom. I just don't like it.
No
So
flavor.
cereals
In an advertisement for rice checks.
No flavor.
Then one
For
day,
rice
Buzz
checks
bought
and
cereals
wheat
in red and
checks
white
is
checkerboard packages.
Wow,
bold.
Good. Oh, boy.
That's what he said when he tasted
Like, I
one
would
of them.
not start mentioning a lack of flavor.
Morning. This is it.
That's what he said when he tasted the others. The cereals,
Rice checks and wheat checks, gang. Man, oh, man. They're my cereals.
Buzz Corey cereals too, the bite-sized super cereals that help to supercharge you.
Best tasting cereals in the universe.
And the only official ready-to-eat cereals of the Space Patrol.
Fill her up, Mom. Rice checks.
That's what our friend says now.
Fill her up, Mom. Wheat checks.
So, gang, if you want a cereal that's right on the beam for flavor, get the cereals in the red and white checkerboard.
Let's count how many layers of denim I was struggling there with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No wonder I'm having trouble.
Saturn's number 6
But-
moon, Titan, has become increasingly important to the commerce of the outer planets. However, rumors
Like I
of
said, this
illegal
is,
activity on
I'm
Titan have caused Commander Corey
definitely
to send
complicating
Tonga, his
this.
assistant security chief, to the
It's
Saturn
quite a
satellite to
simple
Now, Buzz and Happy
process
aboard Space
ordinarily.
Patrol battlecruiser Terra 5, headed for Titan, are talking to Tonga by spaceophone as she reports from the satellite's chief settlement, Titan Center.
So you find that the chief black market items are processed foods and medical supplies, huh?
That's right, Commander.
What about those reports we received on the uranium mine? Was there anything to the sabotage rumors?
Well, there was no actual sabotage.
Uranium mine,
A
huh?
couple of men did try to get inside the guarded area.
Were they captured?
No, they got away. But there haven't been any recent incidents.
Have you found out who's behind this black market food situation?
No, but there's a lot of talk about a Captain Kruger.
Captain Gustav Kruger?
Yes, he's the one. He's quite a legend in this part of the solar system.
I think I've heard of him, Commander. Isn't he that old-time space pilot who has the broken-down cargo ship? Yes, Happy. Lonesome Lena, he calls it. He's been shuttling back and forth between Saturn's moons for years. I've never heard of him being mixed up in anything dishonest. Who gave you this information?
A man named Sherwin McCurdy, for one. He's behind a lot of this new development in Titan. Kruger has given McCurdy some trouble, but I don't think McCurdy takes the old gentleman too seriously.
Have you met Kruger?
No, not yet. He just got back from Saturn.
But once I get
Titan,
through
he's
this,
repairing his ship.
We'll have a talk with him when we land.
this
Meet us at the
particular
spaceport and we'll be there
batch
together.
of
Yes, sir.
Corey?
birches.
Well, stand by for
I
landing.
think I can hold this up to the camera and you all can see
Rockets
a
out.
bit better.
Good repeller, Repeller answer.
Better what I'm up to here.
Yeah. Now let's button up the ship and then we'll have a chat with Captain Kruger.
But I really like how this is coming together, actually. I don't.
Boy, that ship must be 100 years old. Well, not quite happy, but it has seen a lot of service. It's so patched up. And look how it's pitted with meteor hits. Only a real space pilot could keep it in operation. Is that Kruger coming down the ladder? Yes. Captain Kruger! Oh, Captain Kruger! He looked right at us and then turned away. Oh, I told you he was independent. Let's get over there. He's checking the hatch.
I've been having very good luck with kind of advancing the needle and then drawing it back.
With you handling it anyway. Remember me, Commander Corey?
Yeah, I recognized you.
This is my cadet, Happy. Very glad to know you, Captain.
Have some calcium seeds, cadet?
Some what?
Calcium seeds. Great unraveled orbits, Commander.
Don't tell me this new crop of space cadets doesn't know what calcium seeds are.
Never heard of them, Captain.
Your education sure has been neglected.
They grow on Venus, Happy. They used to be very popular on space flights.
Yeah, you never get space sickness if you chew calcium seeds. Not only that, but they keep you from blacking out at high acceleration.
Oh.
And out in space, you never mind the absence of gravity as long as you chew calcium seeds.
As you can see, Happy, Captain Kruger is a pilot of the old school. He's the only pilot I know who still chews raw calcium seeds.
Yeah. People nowadays won't touch them. Just because they stain your hands purple when you crack them. Well, Commander, you didn't come over here for a lecture on calcium seeds. What's on your mind?
Oh, just a few questions about business?
Ah, I see. I suppose you've heard rumors that I'm hijacking food and selling it on the black market. Is that it?
There are a lot of rumors in Titan these days, Captain.
Yeah. And a lot of upstarts. They come in here with shiny new ships and big ideas. They act like I don't belong. I'm getting shoved around, Commander. But I'm not going to take it. I never have. I'm not going to now. Well, now, if you'll excuse me, I got some repairs to make. Lonesome Lena's in pretty bad shape.
All right, Captain. Come on, Happy. Let's find Tonga.
You can tell them for me that if Sherwin McCurdy promised delivery, they'll get it. We're a little short of spaceships here on Titan right now. Hey, look, stall them off. Promise them anything. I'll call you back later. Come in.
McCurdy, I want a word with you.
Well, Captain Kruger, glad to see you.
Put your hand back in your pocket, McCurdy.
Why, what's the matter, Captain? You seem angry.
Why wouldn't I be? For 10 years, I've been setting the old Lonesome Lena down on Titan any place I wanted, or on any moon in the Saturn system. Folks were mighty glad to see me whenever I rocketed in, until your crowd got here.
My crowd, Captain?
One of your hired flunkies just told me I can't set down on the Titan Center spaceport anymore. Oh, what kind of high-handed nonsense is that?
It isn't nonsense, Captain. You can't put the Lonesome Lena down on this port. Well, that old bucket of bolts you call the Lonesome Lena's a menace. If I had my way, I'd report you to the Space Patrol. They'd melt up that old hulk.
Oh, you would. You'd melt up a ship that has helped keep people alive for the last 40 years out here on these moons.
Ship's out of date. It served its purpose. Now it's finished.
Who are you to decide whether the Lonesome Lena's finished? One patch on that old battered hull is worth 10,000 of you. Melt her up, would you? I warn you, McCurdy, if you ever say that again, I'll slap you.
Take your hands off me. Take your
All right,
hands
Captain,
off.
that's enough.
Commander Corey, this man attacked me. You got here just in time.
What's the trouble here?
I was merely pointing out that his spaceship violates Space Patrol safety regulations.
That's a bald-faced lie, McCurdy. The Lonesome Lena's safe as any ship in the space lane.
Does it have repel array equipment?
Well, no.
Does it have infrared view scope equipment?
I don't need it. I can land it blindfolded on any spaceport in the solar system.
Does it have Class A radiation shielding on the space drive?
Her shielding's good enough. I ought to know. I built it.
I see, Commander. Obviously, he can't be permitted to land here at Titan.
Right here.
Those are regulations.
Commander, I've always respected you. Are you going to side in with this
So-
blubber?
I'm sorry, Captain Kruger, but I don't make the regulations. My job is to enforce them. There are thousands of people here in Titan Center.
So as we can... Ooh!
They're safer with Lonesome Lena than with half the
Not the
amateur
first
pilots
time
in
I've
new
done
ships,
that.
and you know it.
Captain, if we made an exception in your case, we'd have to do it for everyone. However, we won't be concerned if you have these safety devices.
Anyway.
But that takes money, Commander. I haven't got it. I'll never be able to get it if I can't land here to load and unload freight.
Well, perhaps you can work.
So the idea here is, see, we
10-mile radius.
started with these here, these lower ones, came back with the higher ones.
Be used out in space.
I'm sorry, Captain Kruger. There's nothing I can do.
And it, I don't know. And like I said, this is more of a preventative measure.
I won't be needing them anymore.
Well, Captain is very dramatic, isn't he?
I don't find it amusing, Mr. McCurdy. That old ship of his means more than his livelihood. It's his life.
Well, Commander, I wouldn't let my sympathies blind me to Captain Kruger's sharp practices.
What do you mean?
Kruger's lived by his wits. He's been a lone wolf. Now he's up against the rules of society, and instead of abiding by the rules, he takes the attitude that everyone's against him. Watch him, Commander. I confess I'm rather afraid of what he might do.
I'm here in Titan to prevent trouble, Mr. McCurdy. That's why I came to see you. I'd like to talk to you about conditions here.
Of course. Sit down.
All right, now, I just want to make an appointment. I have a few matters to talk over first with my assistant security chief, Tonga, back at our temporary headquarters.
I see.
How about later today?
That'll be fine, Commander.
But as we can see here, as you might be able to see what I'm doing here, I've just been kind of like working the needle through the fabric a little bit to make sure that the stitching is a little easier. Working it way in advance of the spacing that I originally intend, and then pulling it back to the spacing that I need.
Who's behind this?
I don't know. But I do know that some mining equipment has been hidden in the cavern. And I know the location. They're being very careful. The crust tunnel is being worked only when the cavern is on the night side of Titan. It's daylight there now.
I think Happy and I ought to take a look at it.
Do you want me to go too, Commander?
No, you stay here in Titan Center. Call Sherwin McCurdy. Tell him I won't be able to keep that appointment. May not be back in time.
There's the mouth of the cavern, sir.
There's been plenty of activity around here, too, by the looks of the ground.
Yeah, there's a pipe leading from the cavern.
A drainage pipe. Machinery right inside the cave. Looks like a pump.
A pump?
Apparently they have to keep pumping water out of the
Settle the stitches back into place.
Light, have a look inside.
Oh my goodness. Okay, these must be atomic lights. Oh, hydrate, posture. Good points, Razz. Good points all around.
Don't bump your head when you go through this opening, Happy.
I wonder how close we are to the regular mine.
It's hard to tell.
Hey, we're in water over our ankles.
There we are. Hydrated, postured. We're good.
Oh, the shaft can't go much farther. We must be halfway into the mountain by now. The water's getting deeper, sir. It's nearly up to my waist.
Listen.
Sounds like a motor of some kind. Must be back outside the cavern.
The automatic pump engine. When the water reaches a certain level, it cuts on and draws off the water.
But, Commander...
Specifically made this. I specifically went out of my way. I did this as kind of like a test swatch with my sewing machine, so I wouldn't have to press it into the meat of my finger. Because I've been pushing, you might have just saw, I was pushing with this knuckle bone here when I could be using these 2 layers of denim behind it too. And look how much faster that is, and I'm not wincing or anything.
Who can play basketball half as well. What's your secret, Whizzer?
No secret. I just get supercharged every morning.
You mean you have a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal?
You bet. Rice Chicks, Wheat Chicks, or Instant Ralston. That's how Buzz Corey gets supercharged. That's how I get supercharged.
Say, how about those Chex? They're plenty delicious, right?
I'll say. And they're bite-sized.
And they're the only cereals in
Oh,
the
I'll
universe
say.
that have that modern bite-sized design.
And there's only one cereal in the universe like Instant Ralston. I love it.
That's the hot super cereal. Helps you to think fast, act fast.
And play basketball fast.
You said it. Instant Ralston is a cereal for winners and whizzers. That's what you are, a winner. How about you, gang? Wouldn't you like to be
Whizzer?
Get supercharged. Eat a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal.
Now I know it's the idea there is.
Rice Chex, Wheat
Also,
Chex,
dude, I don't know what is up. I don't know if you're eligible for Prime subs anymore. It won't let me use mine for you for whatever reason. I'm not subbed to anyone else with it. That's so weird. I don't see anything saying anything to the contrary.
After crawling through a
That's
narrow
so
opening far
weird.
underground, they suddenly noticed that
I'll
the
have to
water in the
dig
bottom of the shaft
after
was rising.
stream.
Then they heard the sound of the pump echoing down from the cavern opening and realized that water was being deliberately pumped into
I'll have
the
to
mine
poke around.
to drown them. With the water
Oh, now I undid it.
splashed there,
I
the
had
pummelite
3
about
stitches on the
30
needle and I
meters
pulled back too far. I don't know what but I don't know what's going on there. Why I wouldn't be...
Pump anymore. Maybe it's been shut off.
No. The water's still gushing in.
That's so
You don't hear the
strange.
pump because the water is over the narrow opening.
Well, then how are we going to get through?
You'll dive under long enough to get to a place where the water doesn't fill the shaft.
All set, Happy? Yes, sir. Dive deep.
See out of that needle there. Put there-ish. Let's say. Well, there's $5. Oh, well, thank you.
We made it.
I know,
Hey, the water's not even up to my hips here.
We're on upward.
yeah, that's so weird with the
Let's get out of this.
Prime sub. Normally you can get one, you can get a sub for free once a month, and really that's a primary source of the the subscriptions around here because it's so cheap. That's, you know what? Let me write that down. I need to look into that.
Thallium seeds. Right. Well, I guess we know who turned the pump on, sir. I've known
Can't use Prime Sub,
I can't imagine him doing a thing like this.
even though it should be available.
Yes. Then let's get
It
back to
takes 1 to 2 hours after your past sub ran out until the new Prime Sub is available. Got sent back and forth between Twitch and Amazon. Support didn't fix it. Fixed after disconnecting and reconnecting the Amazon account, says the internet. If you hop into an incognito and log in, does it work? Tried that and it didn't work. Huh. Yeah, several people are saying that if you disconnect and reconnect your Amazon account, it fixes it. Which is a bit odd. The subscription is incredibly appreciated. Yeah, it's frustrating, but that does bring up something of note. You know, you should be able to use your Prime subscription for things like the channel emotes and immunity from ads. Channel emotes like library and magnets.
You're as fair-minded as I think you are, you'll agree with.
Is the raw deal you're getting as bad as being nearly drowned in a flooded mine?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Show him the evidence, Happy. Yes, sir. Recognize these, Captain?
Well, of course, they're calcium seeds.
We found them by the pump, Kruger.
Pump? What pump?
In the opening of the secret shaft near the uranium mine.
I'm not interested in any uranium mines. I want justice. Commander, look what that McCurdy has done to me now. You see this paper? It's a doctor's order telling me I can't make any more commercial space flights. McCurdy has been trying to get the official doctors on me for months. He's finally succeeded. They gave me a checkup, and I'm grounded.
Let me see that.
For 6 hours, they gave me tests. Heart, blood pressure, metabolism, the works.
This is Dr. Greer's signature, all right.
Yeah. But just read what he says.
Captain Kruger's condition makes any further space flights extremely dangerous. As a space physician, I deem it inadvisable for Captain Kruger to be permitted to operate any commercial spacecraft. For reasons of
That's so weird. Anyways, I just want to check in on you and restart back to Stardew. Enjoy Stardew! I will be hanging out in the background as you lurk, working on this.
I'd rather go quick blasting off on a spaceship.
Just a minute, Captain. This physical examination.
These are Razz's genes, by the way.
Couldn't have been at the mine.
Like I said, the idea.
I haven't been near any mine. I haven't been anywhere but in a doctor's office getting needles stuck in me. And that isn't all. While the doc was working on me, there was a gang of inspectors checking over Lonesome Lena.
Official Space Patrol inspectors?
Yeah. That's another thing McCurdy's been trying to arrange for months. I admit I've been dodging inspection because I knew what they'd say. Me and Lonesome Lena were both out of commission.
I'm sorry about that, Captain Kruger.
Yeah, you're sorry.
But you can be thankful for one thing. This examination clears you of suspicion. Someone has been trying very hard to implicate you in a serious crime.
Well, that's not news to me, Commander.
I have an idea who it
The idea here is,
Now, wait a minute. I know McCurdy has it in for me, but I'd say this for him. He tried to get Dr. Greer to postpone the physical examination.
Oh, he did. After trying for months to bring it about.
Yeah, but it didn't do any good. The doc said I was too slippery an old cuss to take chances with. So I was stuck.
Happy. Tonga, we're going to find McCurdy. Captain, you stay around close in case I need you.
Don't worry, Commander. I won't be going anywhere.
I love this guy is clearly supposed to be an old spacer, but like all I can hear is a little bit of like an old sailor in the sense of like Popeye.
What is it, Commander? I've got a few questions I'd like to ask. Of course. We just come from your office. From the looks of things, you left in a hurry. In fact, it looks as though you didn't intend to come back.
Should that concern the Space Patrol, Commander?
Possibly. Where were you going?
I happen to have business at
Oh, but we might actually get to,
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Not until you explain that purple stain on your hand.
What?
That purple stain on your hands, could it be from calcium seeds?
Callium
Ah,
What
I
did
was
become of
wondering
callium
when
seeds?
the
Scattering them
purple
around the place,
callium
maybe?
seeds.
That package you're holding, what's in it?
This has gone far enough. Stand back and get your hands up.
You ought to be quicker than that, McCurdy. Let go of that ray gun. That's it.
Oh,
Don't try anything else.
alarm.
Commander, this package...
Phone alarm. Oh,
Acro Laboratories
well, I
is
forgot
taking
to turn
care
that
of
off.
it.
I have an alarm that reminds me to do the cat
Take it back
box.
to Tonga. We'll blast off for Saturn right away.
You won't get off Titan in your ship, Corey.
Why not?
I put your controls out of commission so you couldn't follow me. And there isn't any other ship on the satellite except my atmosphere ship, and that won't take you there.
I'm afraid he's right, Commander.
You'll have to space a phone to Saturn for a ship to come and get us.
Oh, but that will take hours. The situation on Saturn is critical.
Commander!
Oh, yes, Captain.
Hal, I see you got McCurdy.
Yes, and the medicine.
Yeah, but McCurdy's wrecked our ship. There's no way to get off of Titan.
Well, how about the Lonesome Lena?
But we're actually coming to a point
Just
here
a lot of a
where,
She'll still fly. And by Jupiter, I'm taking you all to Saturn.
You'd better let me take your ship, Captain, after what the doctor said.
Commander, I know you're the best pilot in the solar system, but Lena's sort of, well, temperamental. She's got a lot of quirks and things. If she isn't handled just right, well, she just might go all to pieces.
we're actually getting to a point here where I'm running out of, you can see here, I'm running out of thread. This is all I got. So we might actually be able to,
Come on, McCurdy. We're taking you with us.
Not in that pilot.
we might
pilot.
actually
This
get
is
to
going.
show off how to start and stop.
Danger my life.
Why, you low-frequency crook, as though your life was worth a gallium seed.
Let's go. Bring the medicine, Happy.
All right, everybody.
Low frequency, that
Going to
sounds...
blast off.
Look at those controls. Why, well, they're just patched together.
Keep quiet, McCurdy. All right, Captain, when you're ready.
Wait just a minute. I got a few more adjustments to make here. Like I said, Lena's temperamental. You sort of got a sense what to do.
I admit I've never seen a control set up like this.
Are you ready, everybody?
Yes.
All set. Let her go.
And here we go.
It's always interesting to hear what sort of intent they approach, especially old spaceships.
We're spaceborne.
An excellent blast off, Captain.
Yeah, just like I said.
Captain, what's wrong? Tonga, get the first aid kit, if there is one.
He's passed out. Now what are we going to do?
Happy. Yes, Commander? Help me lift the captain out of the pilot seat.
Yes, sir.
There. Happy, you and Tonga see what you can do to make him comfortable. I'll take the Lonesome Lena into Saturn.
But it's always interesting to hear what sort of concessions they make, and what concessions and choices they make in designing, especially when it comes to sound in these old radio productions. Designing spaceships, it's like what are they expecting this to sound like? What does it mean that this has such a particular engine noise?
Medicine there in half an hour. We'll be in time.
Oh, we can do that easy.
Yes, I can land this Hulk without crashing. Stand by for landing.
Commander!
Captain Kruger!
I just couldn't make him stay in the bunk, Commander.
I'm sorry I conked out on you, but I see you got everything under control. You think you can handle the landing, Commander, or do you want me to?
I'd better take her in, Captain, in case you...
Sure. But if I just might make a suggestion... But that's it! Thunder and comets, Commander, you sure know how to handle Lonesome Lena.
Oh, here we go. Now I've got 4 seams to push through on top of the other 2. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look how quick we went through there with this, with the thimble here. Palm thimbles up to snuff, as it were.
Oh, just fine. That was a great landing, Commander. I couldn't have done better myself.
Say, you took that pretty well.
Oh, I found some calcium seeds back aft. Nothing like 'em for space flying. You have some, Cadet?
This time you've got a customer, Captain. I don't feel so well.
This is Commander Corey,
And Marvin Miller.
reminding you that pulling up to your breakfast table
is
But,
like
you know, they
pulling
just
up to a
kind of,
filling station.
Give him our example, Marvin.
A jet cycle is
made a
just going to
real-
filling station to get its tank filled.
The man has it filled with ordinary fuel. Listen.
made just basically a real loud engine noise for that spacecraft,
Now
right?
the same jet cycle filled with super fuel.
In comparison to, you know, when we look at
Cycles flying
a
like
real
rocket now
spacecraft
because it's
these
supercharged
days,
with super fuel.
Same thing is
it's
true
more
for
of a
you, Sam.
kind of
To get going in the morning, you need super fuel, too.
high energy or like completely quiet, depending on the
A
writer.
good breakfast with instant Ralston, the hot super cereal.
Instant Ralston helps you to think fast.
And act fast.
So remember, when you pull up to your breakfast
And it's
table,
just very
just
interesting
like
'cause
pulling
it
up to a
tells
filling
you-
station, you're there for fuel.
Super fuel. So you can get supercharged.
Not only a lot about
Eat a good
the
breakfast with instant Ralston and get supercharged. Get it today
design
in a very
choices
white
they're
checkerboard
making, but
package.
the intent
Good hot
behind some of it
Ralston.
too. Anyway, this
And now for a preview of next
I'm
week's
actually
exciting
on
Space Patrol story.
little enough thread that I think I'm going to
rescue a noted
finish
scientist
this one off.
abducted by a cruiser.
Oh
I
my
know
goodness,
Professor
my
Headley is
hands.
somewhere in this building, Tozer.
Whew.
Why,
I'm gonna actually
You're mistaken.
Oh, no, we're not.
make sure that the rest of this thread doesn't go anywhere, and we'll start more thread.
Right, Corey. If you insist.
Hey, my eyes, turn that light
So the
on.
idea here is
I can't see.
rather than trying to tie this just so,
Now, Corey, I'm going to finish you off permanently.
rather than trying to tie this just so, we're just going to do a bit of backstitching back through the same holes
Again bring you Space Patrol.
in the opposite direction, in hopes of getting the stitches to hold, getting the remainder of the thread to hold still.
Oxygen is carried to the cells of the body by the bloodstream. So when a person loses a great deal of blood in an accident or in sickness, there's not enough blood left to do that job. Result? The person dies. So will you help me save lives by joining the Space
I
Patrol?
might nail my fingers a little bit doing this,
So
because
join
I
the
need to
Space
get
Patrol
the
Club.
needle exactly so.
Space Patrol.
In comparison to, you know, if I was doing a more
Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey, and Lynn
traditional
Osborne as Cadet
approach
Happy.
to
Written
the
by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson.
traditional approach to the embroidery here, we would just tie the thread off.
Don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local newspaper for time and
See,
Space Patrol comes to you transcribed
that's
from
interesting.
Hollywood.
I figured this was just radio, but they do say it actually airs on ABC. Aired on ABC. Interesting, interesting.
Rice Checks and Good Hot Ralston present
We're on to the next episode here. The Brain Bank.
high adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's
You know, that swooshing is a little obnoxious, but it is not nearly as bad as the horribly, horribly loud, high-pitched noise that
Oh, no, we're not. Don't sit there.
Dimension X goes for. I'm actually going to, I know I said I wasn't going to knock this off,
Get him, Happy.
but I am in fact going to tie this, because several of these back stitches, being through such thick layers of fabric, were not exactly correctly positioned. And you know, it's in a spot where it doesn't quite, it's not super visible.
Man, oh man, oh man! Yummy!
That boy sounds excited, doesn't he?
Now let's
Well,
grab
listen,
some
he's
more
had his
thread
first
here.
taste of
Keep going.
Rice Checks, the delicious bite-sized super cereal.
Wow!
Especially Rice Checks, these
Man, oh man!
advertisements feel really like egregious. They're like, wow, rice checks. I'm like, really? Rice checks? Like, there's a reason we have to use rice checks in, like, puppy chow and all that. Like, Midwestern dishes. Midwestern desserts, as it were. Because it's just not great on its own.
And I mean with pencil and paper for the most sensational message you ever heard on Space Patrol.
That's a pretty high bar.
Not far from
You know, it's just like, especially the ads here. I'm just like, what, rice checks? Maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm just particular and peculiar about my desire for a specific type of bland cereal.
A scientific hall of fame, an interplanetary who's who of distinguished men.
But rice checks and wheat checks just sound terrible. Also, a little odd that, like, there is rice checks and wheat checks being advertised here, but not corn checks. Like, corn checks is like the flavor of checks that I picture as like the default flavor for checks.
You wanted me to remind you to congratulate the professor.
But when it comes to like bland cereal, I'm much more of a, like, you know, wheat flakes, corn flakes type.
You're upholding the Crozer tradition. Crozer tradition? Of course.
I don't know.
Past 3 years, every winner of
Maybe
the
I'm
Minor
just
Medal
losing
for
it.
Scientific achievement.
Maybe they're just advertising because that's who would take the money, or who would give them the money, you know?
Which I did before I joined your organization. Well, I speak in jest, more or less. Well, that completes our conference, Professor. I have something to tell you, Mr. Crozer. Yes? I am forced, with regret, of course, to submit my resignation. Your resignation? I don't understand, Professor.
So we'll take some of this Sashiko thread here.
My health won't permit me to continue my work for your company. But you're under contract. You're absolutely necessary to this project. I am very sorry. But my doctor tells me that unless I retire, I may not last for more than a few months. Well, this puts my company in an awkward position, Professor. I won't tolerate it. I regret this as much as you do, Mr. Crozer. But I don't see what I can do about it. See here, Eggman.
So there are two real options here for starting the thread.
Contributions are useful now in our present stage, but they'll be absolutely essential in 3 years from now. Oh, Mr. Crozer, no one individual is absolutely indispensable. There are other scientists in my field. Eggman, I hired you because
There's
you're the only
a-
man alive today who can see this particular phase through to a successful conclusion. This whole operation is geared around...
There's really two options here. We could just tie a knot in the one end of the thread. Where are my... While I'm at it, since I'm having to restart this needle, I'm going to sit here for the next week trying to thread a needle.
Are you any good, Mr. Crozer? 2 other doctors have confirmed his diagnosis. Very well. We shall see.
There's really,
Our interview is ended, Eggman.
there's really two options here. We could do it the traditional fashion, and do a bunch of, in the same way that we ended the last one, the
I understand how you feel.
stitches that go into the same spot, and then just back stitch.
Got to keep working for me. That
But,
project must be finished as I planned.
You can't force me to
Honestly,
sign a
I
contract or no
don't
contract.
feel confident, given
Your
the
director of
positioning
plant
of these
operations. It's up to
stitches,
you to find a way out of this.
Well,
to
let's
do
see
that,
about
so I'm just going to tie a
Mr. Brain
knot
will
in
be
it.
of most value to us 3 years from now. But he's got to retire immediately, so he's out of
And
the
you know, it makes sense that the back stitching would be traditional because this is designed for use in like kimonos, where like a little knot like that would be kimonos and other silk garments, I should stress, where a knot like that would be super obvious as the fabric drapes. But
Of course, Hegman wouldn't consent to it.
Well, that's immaterial.
I
We'll do it
honestly
by force.
think with this denim,
Well,
it's
idea, Miss Becker.
going to be very
We'll
subtle.
be establishing a brain bank. We'll put Hegman's brain on ice till we're ready to use it.
There's only one catch.
Are they talking about using this man's brain from a cryonic state? Now that's a throwback. You don't hear a lot about,
When we get it
you know,
set up, we'll
suspended
bring it up
animation frozen brains anymore, do ya? It's usually not a plot point these days. Interesting.
Well, nobody seems to know where the professor is, Commander. I've even checked with his doctor.
I've just phoned Crozer. He hasn't seen him either.
Well, maybe the professor forgot about his appointment with you. He could be out with friends celebrating. After all, he's just received the Kleinhurst Medal.
I doubt that he'd forget the appointment, Happy. He seemed very anxious to talk to me. You knew, didn't you, that the professor has to retire?
No. Why, sir?
His doctor warned him that he can't keep up the pace. Oh, by the way, there's something I've been wanting to show you. Yeah. Have a look at this new Space Patrol equipment.
Binoculars?
Yes. Not just ordinary binoculars, Happy. They're space binoculars.
Can I try them out, sir?
Sure, they're yours.
They're space binoculars. We're gonna sell them to small children to make $1 million.
Over to the city with them, Happy. I'll take the polarization off the windows.
Wow, these are great, sir. Why, I can even read a small sign on the space terminal building. A sign I can't even see without the binoculars.
Wait till you get out in space, out of the atmosphere of Terra, then you'll really see something.
You mean they're even better out in space?
They're so sensitive, they'll pick up very small objects many miles away. They're designed especially for pilots on search missions. Within a planet's atmosphere, they're good 4-power binoculars.
Wow. Hey, look, there's some people walking 5 blocks away, and it looks as though I could almost reach right out and touch them. Hey, from what you say, Commander, I'd sure like to take a look through them out in space.
Mr. Crozer, this is the most outrageous thing I have ever heard. I refuse to let you do it.
Professor, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do about it.
Don't you know that even if I gave you my consent, it is still illegal for private persons to use the suspended animation process? Now, if you'll unlock the door, Crozer, I'll leave.
Eggman, my friend, you're not leaving. Miss Becker, we might as well get started with the process.
Oh, you're not leaving.
Get away from me.
Eggman, get away from that window.
I wouldn't advise jumping out, Professor. It's a long way to the street.
Yes, and it wouldn't be suspended animation. It would be terminated animation. Go on, Miss Becker. Give him the electronic injection.
Away from
There.
me.
I've got my hand over his mouth. Quickly, Miss Becker.
Oh, hold him still.
Quit struggling, Eggman, or you'll really get hurt.
There.
How long does it take for the electronic injection to knock him out?
A few seconds.
Good.
He's losing consciousness.
Oh, now I did it. I pulled too fast, and now there's a big old knot in the thread.
Commander, look. I can see the lettering on the windows of the Crozer building.
Just gonna very gently.
Terra Park, Happy. You can probably see the...
Yeah, look there.
Yes, they are
Undid the
I
knot.
can see people
Skilled.
inside the Crozer building. Look, sir. On the top floor, there's a man standing in the window. I can see him just as plain. Here, sir, try him.
All right, I'll take just one look, but then I think we'd better get to work.
Yes, sir. It's the 4th window from the corner of the building, see?
Yeah, it is clear. Well, that's Professor Hegman.
Yes.
I think it is. Oh, he's gone now. Wonder why Crozer didn't have the professor call me. I suppose Hegman's busy closing up his work with Crozer.
Yeah, I think he'd at least phone you.
I'll tell you what, Happy. I've got an errand to make right near the Crozer building. Let's drop in and see the professor on the way over.
I've checked the suspended animation equipment. Everything's working fine, Mr. Crozer.
How long does it take?
Another hour and we'll be through.
Oh, good.
You aren't going to keep him here in the
Now, I know I may have grabbed a ton of thread here.
Equipment there, too. We have to give him booster treatments every 3 months. Say, haven't you been under that helio lamp long enough?
Oh, I've got it on low setting. You ought to try it, Miss Becker. It's really very relaxing.
Not as relaxing as that treatment we're giving Hegman.
Yes. You'll be relaxed for 3 years.
Speaking of Hegman, did you see him throw anything out of the window when you were struggling with him?
I know. Did you?
Well, he made a sort of throwing motion with his hand. I think I better go down the street and check.
Yeah, that's right. He certainly didn't have time to scribble any note. But let's not take any chances. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Crozer.
Ah, Commander Corey. Nice to see you.
Thank you. This is Cadet Happy.
How do you do, Cadet?
How do you do, sir?
Sit down, gentlemen. I hope you don't mind if I go on with this lamp treatment.
How do I do
I
what?
can for myself.
I see you are.
Unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity to get it the natural way as you space patrolmen do.
That's quite a high-powered lamp.
Yes, it can be if it's turned up. Have to know how to handle it.
The reason I came over, Mr. Crozer, is to see Professor Hegman.
Yes, well, the professor isn't here. Remember, I told you I'd ask him to call you if he showed up.
We saw him standing by the window of this office just a few minutes ago.
You saw him in the window?
Happy and I were testing some new Space Patrol binoculars. We thought we saw Hegman.
Hegman, you must be mistaken. Oh, I know. one of my attorneys was here a while ago. He's about the same height and build as Hegman. Yes, come to think of it, there is a resemblance. Funny, I never thought about it before.
Well, apparently we made a mistake, Mr. Crozer. Sorry to have bothered you.
No bother at all. No bother at all.
The old fool threw this out of the window.
Oh,
We will
busted.
I've changed my mind. May I see what you have there?
Oh, it's nothing at all.
No, Commander. Just a little promotion gimmick one of our companies is putting out.
May I see it?
Yes, of course.
The Kleinhurst medal, a promotion gimmick?
Kleinhurst medal.
There's only one man who would have that medal on his person at this time. That would be Professor Hegman.
What are you getting at?
This young lady just said it was thrown out of the window. Well, why would anyone throw a valuable award like this out of a window unless they wanted to attract attention? Give it to me straight, Crozer. Where is Professor Hegman?
You're jumping to conclusions, aren't you, Commander?
That was Hegman we saw. If you're not trying to hide something, why are you and this woman so evasive? Why did you lie about the medal? You've got Hegman somewhere in this building.
I suppose you won't be...
You've got Hegman. Well,
that's right.
All right, then. Come on.
they've got what's
I'll just
left
turn
of
this lamp
Hegman.
on full power and right in your eyes.
Turn it off! My eyes, get him, Happy!
I can't see.
No, but I can. Grab that bookend, Miss Becker. Nice work, Miss Becker. And now, Cadet. That'll hold them for a while.
It was a smart trick, Mr. Crozer, shining that helio sun lamp in their eyes.
I had to do something after that faux pas you pulled.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know they were here.
We've got to move fast. Arrange for a spaceship. We'll get Hegman aboard.
What about these two?
We'll lock him in the next room till we get Hegman out of here. Then I'll come back and finish our Space Patrol friends for good.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment.
Oh, come on, Captain Tufeld. Tell me what Buzz Corey's big new surprise is for all his kids. Won't you, huh?
No, I can't tell you.
Please?
Nope, it's a secret
Oh,
until
won't
the
you,
end
huh?
of today's program.
Is it something the commander himself uses?
Oh, you bet it is. It's official Space Patrol equipment.
Can't you really tell me what it is?
Nope, it's a secret.
Well, then, how about a little hint?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's something absolutely new and different.
Oh, man, I just can't wait.
Well, you hurry now, get a pencil and paper ready, and keep listening because in just a few moments, I'll tell you what the big surprise is and how you can get it. And all you boys and girls listening in, you do the same thing. Get pencil and paper ready and be all set to take down the information you need to get that wonderful new surprise, Buzz Corey.
Are we gonna...
So long for now. See you at the
I don't know,
end of
gang.
the
Do we got
program
pencil and
when I'll
paper
tell you
ready?
all about the biggest, the swellest, the most exciting value ever offered on Space Patrol. John Crozer
Question of the day,
and
was
Professor
I
Baker
joking
have
about the
Professor Hegman
binoculars
in suspended animation,
correctly?
intending to revive him 3 years later to finish vital scientific work on a vast project Crozer is managing. When Commander Corey and Cadet Happy decided to search the building for the professor, Crozer blinded them with a beam from a high-powered helio sun lamp and then knocked out the virtually
beam.
defenseless space patrolman. Buzz and Happy have just regained consciousness and their vision and find themselves locked in a room.
Regain consciousness and their vision.
Happy. You can't break down that door.
We must be in the Crozer building, judging by the view from the window.
Yeah, on the top floor.
And Crozer's probably miles away by now with the professor.
I doubt it. He wouldn't go away without being sure we'd never be able to report him. He'll be back.
And then I've got a feeling we'd better get out of here before he returns.
Let's take a look out the window.
Say, maybe we can attract the attention of somebody in another building.
Slowly but surely, we make other
Break the
progress.
window. We could crawl on the ledge to another window.
And that's not my idea of a pleasant stroll, 50 stories out.
It's not mine either, but it's a lot safer than what Crozer has in mind.
That's not my idea.
Sure,
But
ought to do
that's
that.
strong.
Turn your head, Happy. Watch out for the glass.
All right. You want me to go first, sir?
Wait till I knock these sharp splinters loose. Hey, let's go. I'll boost you up.
I can make it now, sir. Wow, what a long way
Oh,
into the street.
Don't look down, Happy. Lie flat on the ledge and crawl.
Yes, sir.
I hope we can find another...
Don't look down, huh?
I wish this ledge was...
This does make me wonder what this show looked like while it was airing on television.
For a minute, I thought I was a goner.
Don't try to hurry.
Commander, we're in luck.
Is that window unlocked?
Yes, sir, and it's partway open. All I have to do is push it.
Easy now. Don't push yourself off the ledge. Anybody inside?
I don't see anybody. Well, here goes.
I wonder what this looked like airing on television because it feels like such a we could really only do it in audio type thing, listening to it.
How are you going to do away with Corey and the cadet?
You unlock the door, swing it open. I'll blast them with
I think I might have to call it, or we might have to switch up to a little something different here in a bit when I get to a stopping point, because my hands are getting
Climb down the side of the building.
They certainly wouldn't jump. The ledge. They use the ledge.
quite
Now they probably give an
tired.
alarm. This whole building will be swarming with space patrolmen soon.
Well, what'll we do?
We've got to get out of here. We'll have to forget about the equipment. We've got to get to the spaceport and blast off right away. Hurry, Orla. We haven't a second to spare.
Take it easy, Happy. All right. Open the door.
There's nobody in here either. Just some equipment of some kind.
Some men's clothing, coat and a hat.
What kind of equipment is this, sir?
Suspended animation equipment.
Oh, that's what they use in criminal rehabilitation.
Suspended animation equipment. Oh
How did Crozer
no!
get hold of it? And what for?
I thought it was against the law for private individuals to have these.
Well, that wouldn't stop Crozer. Why would he want this equipment? Why would he want to put under... Professor.
What?
That must be it. With the professor in suspended animation, he'd be easier to conceal.
Well, sure, but what good would the professor be if he was unconscious?
Crozer could revive him whenever he needed him, even months or years from now.
I wonder what Crozer did with him.
He'd try to get him off Terra. Let's go to the spaceport, Happy. Happy, I've just checked with the space control dispatcher. There was a slip-up. Crozer blasted off.
Didn't they try to stop him?
The order to hold him wasn't relayed to the dispatcher in time.
How long ago did Crozer blast off?
About 15 minutes ago. But I've got a description of his ship. Come on, Hap, let's get aboard Terra 5. We're going after them.
They were going after him.
That was luck. I was afraid they'd stop us at the spaceport.
Look in the viewscope. There's a ship following us.
The space patrol.
Yeah, we are in a spot. We can't outrun that ship.
No, but we can get rid of the professor. Corey doesn't find Hegman on the ship. He can't prove anything against us.
Well, what do you intend to do? Just shove the chamber out into space?
Yeah. Chances are the professor will never be found. Come on, we've got to get rid of Hegman, and then we'll take our evasive action. Corey won't stand a chance of...
Man, they're just shoving this guy who's in suspended animation out into space. Just a fate worse than death.
We're gaining on
Like-
them, sir. All that crazy flying Crozer's doing isn't getting him anywhere.
He's trying to delay the inevitable as long as possible. Maybe I can talk some sense into him. Turn on the spacephone, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 calling John Crozer in private cruiser T431. Commander Corey calling John Crozer.
This is Crozer. Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
This hide-and-seek isn't getting you anywhere. It's just a matter of minutes. Play it smart and give up.
You talked me into it, Corey. But at least I gave you a run for your money. What do you want me to do?
We'll pull alongside and join airlocks.
All right, Corey.
Just a warning, Crozer. Don't try anything. Corey out.
They've joined airlocks with us.
All right. Have you got the electronic injection?
Yes, it's right here.
Yeah, they won't suspect anything from you. Watch your chance and use it on Corey. I'll jump the cadet. He won't be in your way. And then when they're unconscious, they can join Professor Hegman out there in space. All right, Earl.
Oh no, they're gonna space. They're planning on spacing 3 guys, 2 space cops.
Put your hands up.
Of course, Commander.
Searching for weapons, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Where's Professor Hegman?
Professor Hegman. Why, we haven't the slightest idea.
Come on, quit stalling. What did you do with him?
We haven't got him. Search the ship if you don't believe me.
That's just what we will do.
He doesn't have any weapons on him, sir.
All right, keep your gun on them, Happy, while I search the ship.
All right, lady. Get over there next to Crozer.
My name is Erla Vecker, and I'll be glad to. Oh, excuse me. Commander!
Oh, no, you don't. What have you got there?
Let go of me.
Open your hand. Come on, Erla. That's it. Well, electronic injector.
I'll take that gun, cadet.
Oh, no, you don't. All right, Crozer.
Hey, nice one, Commander.
Don't try anything like that again, Crozer. And no tricks from you either, Erla.
It's lucky you saw her with that electronic injector, sir. You should have had us in deep freeze.
That was a very foolish move on your part, Erla. Now you're in this just as deep as Crozer. Now, let's have it. Where's Hegman?
All right, I'll tell you, but you'll never find him. He's somewhere out in space.
What? You threw him out of the ship?
That's right. All sealed up in a nice, cozy box. Chances are he'll float forever in space, in suspended animation.
Happy, get these 2 into our ship. We'll cut loose and start a search. They're going to stay right with us till we find them.
Nothing, sir. That blip turned out to be a small meteor.
You're just wasting your time, Corey. That box with Hegman in it is just a speck in space. Your view scopes won't show it unless you happen to be very close.
We'll just keep looking.
I've got the view scope on full sensitivity and wide scanning, sir.
I'm afraid the view scope isn't much help. Well, here, let's try these.
The space binoculars.
It's a long chance, but it might work. Scan in a slow arc, Happy.
There's something. Oh, no, it's just another meteor.
Let me have a look. Hey, wait a minute. It's a rectangular shape. Check it, Happy, about 10 degrees high.
I see it, sir. Yeah, it's a box, all right. That's it. We found it.
Change vector, Hap. Let's hope we're not too late.
I mean, he's in suspended animation, so...
There it is, Happy.
Yeah,
I think that's
with the view scope, even without the binoculars.
Yet another alarm. Hooray.
Standing by, sir.
Fire rockets. Yeah, that'll stop us, Happy. All right, get the spacesuits. We'll pull the box into the ship. And Crozer, we'll just lock you and Erla in a compartment till we get the professor aboard.
Why don't you sit down and relax, Crozer? You'll wear out the commander's carpet.
Why don't we hear from the hospital?
Yeah, you're pretty worried now, aren't you, Crozer? You know, if Professor Hegman doesn't come out of that deep freeze, it's going to go mighty hard on you and Erla.
Well, they should know by now.
Oh, for Saturn's sake. Sit down and stop that pacing.
Oh, here's the commander.
Crozer, look who's with him.
Professor Hegman.
That's right. Certainly lucky for you two that the professor pulled through that treatment.
Yes. And, Mr. Crozer, it will give me a great deal of pleasure to testify against you.
And show me with more of his work than the doctor first thought.
Well, in that case, we actually did you a service, Professor. Commander, that should be taken into account.
Don't think you're going to get off easy on that account.
It's just luck, and the fact that we had these space binoculars that saved the professor.
Yes, Happy. I had no idea that the binoculars would actually help us save a life.
You sure were right about their being terrifically powerful out in space. And they're great in a normal atmosphere, too.
I'm not going to lose any time in issuing them to all Space Patrol personnel.
Sir, did you know that when you look through the binoculars the wrong way, you can see into the future?
Oh, I was under the impression that they just smallify. But if you say so.
Oh, that's ridiculous. It just makes objects look far away.
Uh-huh. And far away, I see a criminal rehabilitation center with two people in it. John Crozer and Erla Vecker. And they're getting the same kind of treatment they gave Professor Hegman, suspended animation. You want to have a look?
I do not have it in my hands to get any more stitching done tonight, but I would like to continue streaming. So let's,
Oh boy, first of all, here's that big, wonderful surprise we promised you. Get your pencil and
oh, we're gonna find out what they were on
No,
about.
this is the
Pencil and
greatest
paper,
value we've
huh?
ever offered on Space Patrol. Commander Corey, you tell the gang what this terrific new item is.
So as
Boys
you
and
can
girls,
kind of
our
see,
surprise for you is a pair of those wonderful new Space Patrol space binoculars. Binoculars like the ones I used to do
as you
when
can
I
sort
tried
of
to
see,
protect
there's
the building in that
a
box
rough
way,
line at the
way
edge of
off
the
in
patch
distance.
there
And
where
well,
there's not
gang,
stitching,
you'll be able
but
to see
slowly,
way off in the distance
slowly,
with the
surely
Space Patrol
here,
binoculars you get too. Yes, sir.
we've been
These
making progress.
binoculars
We
are
got 2
4-power
rows tonight
binoculars
in
with
just an
4
hour. Isn't
And
that
when you look
wild?
through them, they make
Plus,
people, houses, buildings,
previously I
cars,
kind of
everything else
tacked the
away,
backing into
look
place
bigger
with these
and nearer
here,
and clearer. No
and then this
adjusting
one
necessary.
row
The
along the
lenses
top.
are fixed
So
focus
we've
lenses.
got
Why,
1,
you don't even
2,
have to hold
3,
these wonderful
4,
binoculars
5,
to your
6,
eyes. You wear
7
them with official
runs,
outer space headgear.
or
They
7
have a
more
long
sets
elastic band on
of
them,
lines
and when you
there,
slip it
and
over
then
your
there's
head,
a
it holds the
second
binoculars in place and leaves your hands
piece
absolutely free. Makes you look like a man from
second
Mars,
piece of this
because these
dissolvable,
binoculars stand out from your eyes a full 3.5 inches.
second piece of this
That's right.
dissolvable,
These are not flimsy celluloid
you know,
goggles or
fabric
masks.
here,
These are real, full-size binoculars.
and that'll come in real
Overall, they're 5
handy
inches wide,
when I
5
do the
inches
other half
long,
of this
and they're
pack.
made
But
of
once I get
solid
that in
plastic.
place,
Beautiful,
I've
long-lasting
got
black
another
solid
plan.
plastic
Oh,
with bright
solid
leather-like
plastic.
trimming that makes them look
We've got another
Now,
hole
don't
here
forget,
that I'll
you can
eventually
see way
fix.
off in the
But
distance
for
there.
now,
You can spot your dad coming home from work. Spot
For
your
now,
man
I
coming
think-
blocks away. You can watch birds in high trees, study animals, identify people in the distance.
let's
read
shift
signs
gears
way
here.
off, and see airplanes way up in the sky.
And when you look through the other end of your space binoculars, they do a switcheroo. They make close-up things look like they're far away from you.
Yes, sir, gang. These powerful.
How
Space
much do you
Patrol
think
space
they made
binoculars are
off
the greatest
these,
value we've ever offered on Space Patrol. To get a pair, do this.
These black plastic
Buy a box of
binoculars.
instant Ralston. Then with your
Oh, it's a
send 25
it's a
cents
proof
in
of
coins
purchase
and
scam,
an instant
or a
Ralston
proof of
box
purchase
top
scheme,
to
rather.
Space Patrol, Box 6.
So I bet they
6,
sold all
St. Louis,
sorts,
Missouri. This offer good only in
all
continental
sorts of
USA.
Ralston
It may be
doing
withdrawn
that.
at any time.
If you don't agree that your are absolutely top,
That's well past
them,
withdrawn. Don't
we'll
go
return your
buying
money.
any of
That
that.
address again is Space Patrol, Box 6,
There,
8,
cram all my stuff into my sewing
St.
bag
Louis,
here,
Missouri.
and we will readjust to do something else. You know what? I think I'm going to.
The Secretary General's daughter Carol is held captive. Suddenly, they became aware of a tingling, painful sensation and a ringing in their ears.
Hey, it's getting hard to walk. I feel like I had a big weight on me.
I can hardly move either, Happy. Nora must be using some kind
I'm gonna
of
switch
radar.
gears here, and we're gonna play a little
Caroline,
Balatro
you
with the
think
second
you
half
worse than
of our
that.
stream here.
You're undoubtedly in an ultrasonic beam. Get back to the ship. Get out of range quickly.
I can't. I can't make it.
Happy, get up. You've got to get up. Here, I'll help you.
I can't even crawl. My head, there's 1,000 needles in it.
If we don't get out of this beam, it'll tear us to pieces.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Sleepwalker, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson.
Oh, incoming, you say? Well, let me.
Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Ken Mayer, David
Before
Navarro,
I get
Dela
too
Tovar,
far
Dick
into
Tufeld,
I should have had the maker tag that whole
Don't forget to
time.
Tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice
Oops.
checks, and good hot Ralston.
Well, we're
again
about
present
to.
the new exciting Space
Incoming
Patrol.
from whom? Who's. Jev was live tonight,
And be
actually.
sure to see another exciting Space Patrol
Speaking of
story
it,
on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time
Yeah,
and channel.
that,
Space Patrol comes
the
to you
mention of
transcribed from Hollywood.
ABC
This
there
is ABC Radio
has me
Network.
very curious what the visual Space Patrol sounds like. That's something I'll have to look up
Wheat
here.
checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston present Space Patrol. High adventure in the wild
Oh.
west reaches its
Oh, it
peak.
looks about
Issues of
exactly how
gang and the
you would
warfare
expect it to
planetary
look.
justice. A road into a future with
I'm looking at the
Tom
pictures
Paul,
here,
Commander-in-Chief of
and it
the
looks
Space
just
Patrol.
precisely like you would expect it to.
In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are approaching a building where the Secretary General's daughter Carol is held captive. Suddenly, they become aware
Alter
of
the.
a tingling sensation.
Change the
and a
scheme,
ringing in
alter
their
the
ears.
mood, boys. We're going to be playing a game to go with our Space Patrol rather than
Ultrasonic beam. Run back to the ship. Get out of its range quickly.
I can't.
doing any more stitching because my hands are getting a bit tired.
My head, there's 1,000 needles in it.
If we don't get out of that beam, it'll shake us
There's
to
1,000 needles in this man's head. Oh, he's getting sonically
We'll be back
disrupted.
in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Sleepwalker.
I have previously managed to stitch more than an hour.
And here's
Stitch,
some
get some
terrific news.
Shashiko done
Here's how to get the
more
best
than an hour, but
Patrol
I've
space
also.
binoculars. The most unusual binoculars
It's
ever
so funny
designed.
they had that,
Wear 'em like
like.
official outer space headgear. That's right. A strong elastic band holds them snugly to your eyes, leaving your hands absolutely free.
I can't get over that. I was like, haha, they're gonna sell these binoculars jokingly, and it turns out, yep,
Big,
real
full-size,
thing.
solid plastic
Oh, the
binoculars
real
you can see
McCoy,
way off in the
huh?
distance with. Overall, they're a complete 5 inches in width. A complete 5 inches
While
in
we're,
height. And when you wear 'em, they stand
While
out
we're
a full
getting
3.5
everything,
inches from
all
your
my
eyes.
ducks in a row here, as it
Oh,
were.
you bet. These are 4 power
I have a couple other
binoculars
things I
with
could
4
be
fixed
promoting.
focus,
Did you know I have a
4 loop-side
podcast?
lenses.
We record it live
Now,
Friday
airplanes in
nights
the
around
sky,
here.
Watch for your dad coming home from work. Read signs way off in the distance.
It's called
Truly,
Paper
the
Cuts.
greatest Space
We
Patrol
read
value
books
in
aloud
our
live.
experience.
It's a
The
really
most
great time.
sensational offer we have ever made.
Um,
Now, here's how to get a pair. Buy a box
What else do I do? Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel, which is primarily these days. Oh, Jev's here. I didn't get any alerts about it. Oh, there it goes! Hi, hello! Jevon's community, welcome to the igloo. Very happy to see you all. How was Oz, right? Let's shush this guy talking about Space Patrol for just a second, and let's wave hi to the Raiders here. Hello everyone from Jevons. Very happy to have you here. How was Oz? You were still working on Oz tonight, I saw in your stream notification. Weird as usual. Oh, absolutely. And that's just the first book. I've heard it gets wilder as the series goes on. What did you what did you think of the differences between that and the movie? I thought it was very fascinating. Just what was what there. Oh yeah, we're currently I forgot to click the button about it. We are currently just setting up to play Balatro. We just did some Sashiko stitching. Let me grab that out of the bag real quick and show you. But we just did some Sashiko stitching, and now my hands have grown tired because I was sitting there stitching through 2 seams and the patch fabric as well. So, you know, hands only go so far. Most of my memories are from the weirdness of the movie. That's fair. But we worked on this for a good chunk of the time here. Where's my screen so I can see? We worked on this for a good chunk of the time here. We've got some nice Sashiko stitching here. Sashiko with an A. It's a Japanese style of embroidery that works really great on high traffic areas of your clothing, and so I'm taking a bit of preventative maintenance on this pair of jeans here because it already has another smaller spot where it needs a mend, but all of the forcing that needle through the denim has tired out my hands in a major way, and so we're going to be switching over to some Balatro because it's a little lower impact, as it were. Yeah, Sashiko. It's actually I really have been getting a lot of mileage out of the technique of late. That particular pattern we were using is called Sashiko Sarahana? Was that what it was? Oh, of course I've forgotten. Hang on. Sarai. That's what it was. Yeah, do need to give the hands a decent little break, but everyone here from Jevons' channel, very happy to have you all here. As you well know, from Jev, I'm part of the Codex, who is a group of fellow read streamers. If you want to catch me reading, that's Friday nights. Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific. You'll have to do the conversion to your local time zones on your own, or join my Discord where I post a timestamp, a floating timestamp announcement about it. But usually around here we play video games or work on a little project on Tuesday nights and read on Fridays. So let's switch gears here. I think it's a good time for Balatro. But welcome everyone from Jevons. Do feel free to follow. Friendly reminder that an additional option available to you is your free Twitch Prime sub. You know, do I have my schedule on my Twitch? It used to be set up. I haven't been keeping as close an eye on it as I perhaps should. Let's switch layouts here. Turn off the table cam, on the Elgato, and oh no, that's the turn on the Elgato and put the frame around the layout here. Turn on my normal webcam and turn the webcam frame on. Okay, so let's get playing some Balatro, shall we? we'll also continue to listen to Space Patrol. This is an additional foray into the public domain, which is something a bit... I don't think we have a follow command, but I would heartily suggest following if you would so choose it. You know what? Come to think of it, Twitch has a built-in shout-out capability now these days. Let's give Jev a shout-out, shall we? Shout out Jevons.
This ship last reported at 1745 Universal Star
Oh, I seem to have spelled that wrong. Slash shout out Jev123 and Z. There we go. So we have shouted out Jev. What do you mean? It's right there. Give me the screen. Thank you. We've shouted out Jev. I would heartily suggest following Jev if you like what we do with paper cuts. You will love Jev's streams as well. Just recently did need both my controllers here. There we go. I presume, did you finish Oz tonight? Or is that
Was the thief still aboard?
We don't know yet.
or you still have a little bit left?
Met the passenger ship out in space and found the thief aboard.
Either way, we recently did the Wizard of Oz, and so too Jev has. So, if you like what we do for paper cuts around here, you'll like Jev. Anyway, promotion aside, oh, is the capture card not working? Can't play Balatro if the capture card's not working, can we? Oh no, it's working. There it goes. Fussy. So Balatro, in a nutshell, since we're shifting gears here, is essentially a poker roguelike. I'm taking one of these off so I can hear the game. Where you are essentially trying to... A follow is a bookmark with reminders, correct. You did finish Oz tonight. Good. Very good book. And if you liked my take on it during paper cuts, you'll like Jev's take, and I would hope vice versa. But I will start a run here of Balatro and will explain as I go. So essentially what you're trying to do is you are trying to play Ooh, that's really good. Okay, immediately, there is a skip blind action you can take that gives you a tag that can give you a boost. So we're going to skip the first blind here and get a rare joker out of the next shop. And then we'll start in on this second blind here. We're trying to meet the goal score in the top left by playing poker hands. So, perfect example. We immediately are dealt a straight, which gets us 30 chips times 4. And over time, you gain skills and elements that let you multiply that score higher and higher. And, I could carry on about the various effects available, but I'll kind of point them out as we go. But this game is essentially, conceptually, just make big number bigger. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, so I can get rid of 5. Oh, okay, Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8 is another straight. And sometimes you have really good luck with card draws like this, and sometimes you don't.
You know where they're taking you?
But the roguelike element comes in as you gain more effects to boost your deck. So, as you can see there, we got 632 points, which is more than the 450 we needed. So, we get money to spend in the shop. And then in the shop here, that tag comes into effect, so we have this rare joker, the Ancient Joker, which is a perfect illustration of how modifiers work in this game. Acquiring jokers that sit in the top tab there modify your hands. Enjoy dinner prep. Enjoy your lurk. So Ancient Joker here, it picks a random suit every round that then multiplies your multiplier, so that's super good. So obviously we have to get it. Less good is the Green Joker, which gains 1 multiplier to add to your multiplier per hand played, and -1 multiplier for discard. I find I tend to trip over that a lot. So then what makes this a roguelike is you lose all of the modifiers for your scoring modifier. Like, the modifiers that build over time, you lose them each time you lose. There's an additional element of randomness from these shops where you can get, say, booster packs. I tend to go for spectral packs because they have very strong, very broadly reaching effects. The spectral cards, that is. Create 2 copies of 1 selected card, or create a random rare joker and sets money to 0. So the deck is like a character choice in a roguelike, and this deck, the yellow deck, gives you 10 extra dollars to spend out front. So Wraith is especially punishing. So I'm going to take Cryptid, and I'm going to generate 2 more Ace of Clubs instead. And essentially, over time, you build mechanisms to build more and more score and multiplier. And you can get really, really strong builds. So much so that scientific notation comes into play eventually. So our 2 options for jokers here are the half joker, if we play 3 or fewer cards, or the red card, which builds over time as you skip booster packs. I think I'm going to take half joker. It's much better early game. Ostensibly, red card could be very good if you were willing to constantly buy booster packs and skip them, but I just feel like half joker, while it's a little more situational, will get us off the ground a lot faster. Anyway, we get through the shop round, and then we come up to our first boss. The bosses are randomized each time. And we got a really good boss this first ante. Antes are sets of 3 rounds. Our first boss here is the Pillar, which debuffs, which means the cards don't count, any cards you've played previously. But, you know, that doesn't really come into play because we didn't play very many cards. So every club suit we play multiplies our multiplier by 1.5. So I'm going to put the things that add to the multiplier to the left of the things that multiply the multiplier, even though this triggers on cards, and that's not as big of a deal. But I'm going to play just these 3 aces to get as much multiplier as we can.
I got a scanning device on the roof. It revolves slowly. And when a beam is interrupted,
and there are these effects can synergize and layer on top of each other. You'll see as we go. Overall, this game is just very... It sticks to my brain very solidly. In no small part because I know the rules of poker. And so I don't have to sit there and spin about, like, oh, what do I do? How do I get the game to respond with these additional effects? I only have to understand the additional effects. And I really love it for that. Okay, so here's one of the dichotomies, one of the choices you get to make in this game is, do you want to sit on your money and gain interest over time, or would you rather spend your money and get more effects? Grabber is super, super good, but it will be here for another 3 hands, or it will be here for another 2 hands, so I'm going to hit next round to get a little more interest after the round. I'll explain the 2 booster packs on screen there were booster packs that give you standard cards, and we'll see one of those for sure. Okay, Ace, King, Queen, 10. I'm gonna play just these 2 4s and this 3 to get it out of the hand, and these 2 4s to play a pair. And the diamond will activate the Ancient Joker. Okay.
It's got 1,000 needles in it. If we don't get out of this beam, it's going to shake us to pieces.
But this is this game in a nutshell. And turns out I did play somewhat optimally here, because now we've got 2 pair to play off of. Sure, that stops our half joker from counting. But 2 pair is a very strong hand. And so there's this balancing act of how many cards can I play to get as much points as possible while it exploits our jokers as much as possible. Very, very fun.
Well, that's when you can be a super somebody, because you're supercharged.
I'm just gonna play single pair and a 3rd card to activate half joker.
A power breakfast with wheat checks or
But half joker, for example, could synergize with something called burning joker, where the first hand you discard gains more basic power over time. Oh, that's fantastic. Baseball card. Baseball card's super good, especially with the right bill. So I'm going to take a little bit of that interest we got, and I'm going to buy a baseball card, and there's more to talk about with baseball card. Hang on. I'm going to also buy the grabber, so we have an extra hand to play with. So, the baseball card here perfectly gives me a moment to explain the modifier system. This joker is a foil joker, and so it adds 50 chips to each hand. Baseball card won't have any effect right now, but we are very likely to net some uncommon jokers as we go.
Maybe we can roll away from the beam, sir. Getting more.
Ooh, we could definitely make 1,600 points. Let's skip to get free items out of the shop. The next shop. So I'm going to discard these debuffed cards and this 3.
No. Automolite. Shine your automolite on the round unit on top of the cone. I'll use mine, too.
We're going to play 2 pair there. Oh, maybe we shouldn't play 2 pair there. Maybe we should play the single pair
It's working though. My beam's in focus.
to activate half joker. What sets off ancient joker? Ancient joker is diamonds for all 3 of these hands. Okay.
Keep your automolite on.
So perhaps let's try this. Let's try single pair to activate half joker. And that already did it. Easy video game.
Gotta get in there before Noah thinks up something else. This time we won't hesitate.
But now this coupon tag we have here will give us free items out of the shop, so I can explain. Oh, cool! Another foil joker. Both of these are common, but they're both free, so I'm just gonna grab them. Juggler is actually super good. Troubadour is another really good one. On the same one. We'll grab this Celestial pack, and this gives me a great time to explain planet cards, which level up a hand, so they, by default, have more multiplier and more chips. And Burning Joker, which I mentioned earlier, applies the effect of one of these cards to the first hand you discard. And so you can see, if you discard high card a bunch, how it can play into half joker. Anyway, let's grab this standard pack. So standard pack, the cards within this, it literally adds more cards to your deck, and each of the cards has an effect. The cards are likely to have an effect, let's say. I'm going to take this 7 with a red seal, so the 7 goes off twice. Oh, free Mega Arcana pack. You know what, I'm gonna not take this one so that I can play the negative tag, because that'll be more useful. So we'll play this 9 and this 9 and this 2 to set off Joker. To set off the half Joker. So mail-in rebate nets you money for discarding cards, which can be very powerful. See, and that, it gets very strong. But I can definitely sell mail-in rebate because it's not going to work with a lot of the build I have here.
What about our passengers?
Well, unload yours on the satellite and spacesuits. And without the jetpack.
I kind of want to get Hanging Chad. It's super good, but I also want to sit on my money. You know what? We're only losing $1 if we sell mail-in rebate and take Hanging Chad.
All right, Corey, get into the airlock.
And then I'm going to skip here to get a negative joker out of the shop. So a negative joker doesn't count against your joker limit, so it can be really powerful to have. 1 in 7 cards gets drawn face down. So we know that that is a jack or a queen, and this is below 5. Do we know what suit it is? It's an 8. It's a heart. So I'm just going to play these 2 9s and this low card here, just to play into half joker. Yeah, and then the 9 goes off again.
That's right, Corey. Gonna pick up Norn. We'll be on
Oh
the way.
shoot, I forgot to check Ancient Joker. Every club we play that scores gets us 1.5 times maul. So that's really good with Hanging Chad, which means we can get it twice. So this is, what, is it a queen or a jack? It's a heart, and it is below, it is above the ace. Right. No. It's a spade, because it's above the ace in the suit, and then in the ranking, so it could be the queen of spades. Do we want to gamble on that? I mean, we don't have a hand that works with clubs right now, so I'm gonna try.
Nora, listen. Did you really leave a bomb in our ship?
Let's see what happens. Wait, we have a straight here. What am I doing gambling? Queen, jack, 10, 9, 8. And then we'll put the 10 out front so we get multiple multiplier.
Oh yeah. Don't forget to keep your magnetic boots turned on full.
And then again, multiplies the multiplier twice.
The dirty rats. We're about as far from the regular space lanes as we could be.
And we're almost there. So now we know this is...
Here we are with no way of moving off the platform in a set direction.
This is probably a king. This is either a king or a queen. We know this.
It's not a scrap pile, not to us. It's rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel? Why, it's just chunks of metal.
Here's a big
I'm gonna get rid of this 3.
Space raft.
Space raft?
Get busy and pile some of these scraps on the plate.
Well, sure, sir, but I don't get it.
We're gonna make a man-powered rocket.
A man-powered rocket?
Remember that summer on Lake Azure when you stood up in the canoe and threw a rock at a leaping fish?
Do I?
Ah, easy video game. And now we get a negative joker if we have enough money to buy it.
Law of motion. For every action, there's equal and opposite reaction.
That's the principle that rockets and all spaceships...
So a really good synergy with Juggler here, for example, +1 hand size, is Baron or Shoot for the Moon, which has cards in your hand cause certain effects. And so if you have larger hand, oh no! So the negative joker on offer here is Gross Michelle, +15 multiplier, but 1 in 4 chance it disappears every round. I'm gonna buy it anyway, just for fun. And then I'm gonna get this seed money so that it makes it so we can have gain interest from 50 rather than 25, just 25. Seed money is always a really good voucher to get, usually. Campfire is really situational and I don't care for it, so we're not gonna buy it. Ooh, the coupon tag. You know what, we can make 9,000 points. Let's get the coupon tag.
Look how close we are to the ship.
We're not heading for the airlock.
Coupon tag makes it so that the first items in the shop do not cost any money. What is... Ancient Joker is set to spades. Okay. Queen Blomp.
Wow. All right, open the outer hatch. Let's hurry. Quickly into the airlock. Now close it so we don't...
But Ancient Joker can be very, very powerful if you use it right. Oh good, the banana didn't disappear. It is capable of disappearing in 1 round. I want to stress.
Well, where's the bomb?
It's in the next compartment.
Gonna get rid of
I'm
this.
trying to get loose from these ropes.
I'll get it.
98765, huh? Well, we'll play these 2 queens and this 2, and then we'll play that straight if we need it.
That won't be necessary, Happy. I'll cut off the time mechanism.
What a relief.
But I've seen the banana disappear in 1 round on people, and I've seen the banana, like, survive so many
I remember
rounds.
Woody and Nora saying something about
Let's...
using part of the money for
Okay,
the
so
walls.
98765.
Let me see. I think I can.
Yeah, and then that spade is out front, so we get to have Ancient Joker go off twice. Perfect. So as you can see, the build we have here will take us a long way as is. It can be further optimized. Ideally now we just have time to sit and build money to... there went the banana. So now we might not have a solid build. Really, baseball card, I really wish we had something solid. Okay, so we get this free tarot card. Tarot cards allow you to alter the cards in your deck. We'll get this for free, thank you.
I've got Morgan, sir. Hang on to him, Happy. Get off Noir on
Level
your
up
feet.
3 of a kind, which is fantastic with Half Joker. See what's in this standard pack real quick. Ooh, a steel ace of spades that will give us a free planet card if we hold on to it long enough. Or a steel ace of the diamonds. That's perfect. Yeah, steel card. Easy video game. And then we can get another tarot card. So we could change 3 of these cards to clubs. Which, as long as we don't change anything in hearts. What if we go 1, 2, 3 and use the moon on them, then use the cards on offer, huh?
And Captain Dick Tufeld, gang, we're going to tell you how to get a pair of those sensational new Space Patrol space binoculars that you can see
Okay, Lucky Card is another card type that, as you can see, has a chance to add multiplier money. It's good. And so we're going to take this Ace of Clubs and make it into a Lucky Card.
These are not flimsy little celluloid.
Now, based on the modifications we've made to our deck already, next time Ancient Joker procs on clubs, we're going to have very good stuff.
Real binoculars, 5 inches long, 5 inches
Very
wide,
exciting.
made out of
Also, for those of you who have been trickling in and out here, what's playing in the background, this radio show, that's called Space Patrol. Okay. We don't have any hearts to play, so we're just going to play these 2 kings and this 6.
Far off objects on land. Your space binoculars will smallify too. Yes, sir. When you reverse them, they make things look real little and far away.
And it won't be worth getting rid of baseball card until we have something else foil. So we might as well sit on... Oh! I'm a fool in a man's shoes. If you were paying attention, the boss only lets us play 1 hand type, so now I have to play only only a singular pair.
Then with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin.
Oh, that's frustrating. Now I really painted myself into this corner, didn't I?
St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in USA and may be withdrawn at any time. If you don't think your
Well,
binoculars are really
we'll see if we make it. If we don't make it, we don't make it. You know, that's the name of the game. I'm really hoping I can get another 7 to set off that red seal. I'm just gonna play those 2, and we're gonna play down to as few hands as we can, so to speak, and then we're gonna try and gamble on discards. Okay, we got 2 queens there, 2 queens of the same type. Even.
Under the influence of the fever, he mutters to himself and is unable to heed the voice of Commander Corey coming over the ship's spaceophone receiver.
It's beautiful out here in space. All the planets of the solar system and the stars.
But, you know, good stuff, fun stuff, enjoyable stuff. Oh, perfect, that ace can sit in hand. We can get rid of 6 and 4 here. Come on, give me a 7. I need a 7 so bad. Give me a 7. Oh, another ace.
Be sure to
And we got another
Saturday
3.
for the exciting story, The Deserted Planet, when Chitchat,
Come on, give me another 7, please.
Ralston,
Oh,
again
perfect.
for you, Space
So we got 7.
High adventure in the wild
And we got all these aces, though.
daring in the name of interplanetary
Okay, let's think about it here.
travel into the
So
future
we would get
with
14
Buzz
chips,
Commander-in-Chief
or...
of the Space Patrol. Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring
Let's...
Ed Cameron,
Because the
Commander
heart
Terry,
sets off the
and
Ancient
Bernard
Joker,
Wallis
let's see what happens
was written
there.
by Lou Houston and
Oh well.
directed by Larry Robertson.
We'll see what happens. Oh, oh. No, that was correct. Because we needed the... We might be onto something. We might be onto something here. Not quite. Oh no, I lied. Yes, quite. 16,000 is more than 12,000. Math? The math is mathing.
And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program.
And we'll play this round. Oh, perfect! Shoot for the Moon gives me 13 multiplier for every queen in hand. So now, I think... Let's get rid of Half Joker and get Shoot for the Moon, because it's really solid. And we'll see if this breaks anything. So this adds 13 multiplier. This multiplies multiplier. This can go to the left because it's a passive. This is a passive, so it's going to go to the left. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have any uncommon jokers. I'm genuinely tempted to sell baseball card because it just doesn't. It has no way of proccing. Money Tree would raise the interest cap again. Oh, are we out of Space Patrol? I think we're out of Space Patrol. Oh well. I'm not too pressed about it. Let's... You know what? Let's just go for it. Let's get Money Tree. It's a super good voucher anyway. Even though we haven't even used the effects of our first voucher, it's fine. And we'll keep playing. Polychrome tag adds Polychrome to the next shop joker. I'm okay. Okay, now I can play more full hands, though. So I can play, say, oh, what is the Ancient Joker set? 2 clubs. Perfect. Ace, ace, 10, 4. So I can play 2 pair because we don't have Half Joker limiting us anymore. So then that goes off twice because of that first Joker there. Oh, this is perfect. So we've got kings, 2s, and a 6. Booty clubs. Clubs out front. Yes. Okay. And then this ace will multiply our multiplier as well. Now we just need some queens in hand. Please. That will really get our score skyrocketing quickly. As you can see, multiplying the multiplier, very powerful. We're going to put that jack out front, so we multiply our multiplier more times. I don't know, we'll see. This build isn't terrible, but I also kind of took a lot of gas out of it with getting rid of the Half Joker. I'm gonna get rid of the 7, 6, and this 2. See once we can pull any queens. No queens. 10, 10, 9, 9, though. That's fun. Yeah, we want clubs out front. Good, good. I'm really hoping we can use some of our discards here to pull some queens out of the deck and get Shoot for the Moon really activated. It's not looking like it, though. It's really not looking like it. It's really not looking like it. Not at all. 0%. Okay, well... we'll play this ace out front. 9, 6, 3. Okay. Wimp womp. Oh, would it get you more to play 3 of a kind? No, it wouldn't. That card's a steel card, it'll net us more points this way. Oh well. There goes that run. Too sleepy to stay up any longer. Well, thank you for staying up as long as you had. Thank you for tuning in. Actually, now you've got me looking at the time. Let me double check something real quick. But that might be... We might have just had 1 or 2 runs of Balatro, and that's it tonight. But we'll see. No, I really need a remote for this TV. You know that? I have to manually sit here and press the little button on the bottom of the television to switch source. It's a whole thing. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to call it there. I really appreciate everyone dropping by. Really, really appreciate the raid from Jev. Genuinely very, very helpful. And I would heartily suggest going and watching Jev, especially if you like paper cuts. You will very much enjoy Jev's stream. Lots of very fun public domain fare. Jev actually, as one might expect by the username, has a different set of public domain titles to most of the people in the codex. So, you know, that leads to some very interesting choices. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to call it a night there. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Come back on Friday for Paper Cuts. We are reading an author permission book for once called Wearing the Cape by Marion G. Harmon, and I heartily suggest it. It's a really fun read. Have a great evening.